for our video's sake, I was wondering if I can get you to introduce yourself, say what community you're from and where you're calling in from now.
Good morning. I'm Cheryl Whitehawk, and I live on the prairies in Canada in Yorkton, Saskatchewan. But my blood is from Sioux Valley, Manitoba. I am Dakota, but I'm a member of the Cody First Nation. So that's why I am here in this province.
Well, Lawlen, and I guess Grandma Sherry, so much of your content is like very wholesome and caring, and you give that great grandma energy. Why was it so important for you to create a space like that online?
I don't even know if I knew that I was creating a space, if that makes any sense. When I was asked to do this by my grandchildren, I spoke to the camera as if I was talking to my grandchildren. That's how it went.
Oh, good evening, everyone. This is Grandma Sherry.
And then other people saw me as a grandma. So that grandmother spirit must have come through.
What does it mean to you to see so many people connecting with your work?
It is so beautiful. You just don't understand how beautiful it is. As much as I enjoy doing this, all the love that is out there, it just fills me. It's so it puts a smile on my face. It fills me with love. And I really do believe that if we love people, they will love us back. And love is the answer. I know it sounds kind of quirky or something, but I really do believe that. I always have believed that love and kindness is the way. So that's what I try and live that way. That when I meet someone, I meet them with love. That I show my kindness, and that's what I live by. Not saying I never get angry or frustrated or disappointed or unhappy, any of those. I do too. But I was always taught to not react to that kind of anger and frustration, to think about it first before I reacted to it. So I hope that answers your questions. I'm certainly not a perfect person at all. I have difficulties like everybody else.
I know from researching some of the comments you made that you worked several years in addictions work, right? How has that influenced how you're able to interact with, a wide variety of people?
It's very interesting because when I first got into my career, um, I always wanted to be a school teacher. And when I went to university, I wanted to be a school teacher, but that program is filled up. So they kind of said, well, go into social work, which I kind of went into that. And it's so interesting. When I got into mental health, I started teaching. And so I've been teaching in mental health throughout my whole career. And when I first started teaching, it was in the area of people who were just feeling hopeless and they wanted to end their lives. And that's what I started working with in my career. I worked in that for a number of years, going around teaching people about intervention, prevention, and I don't know, I connected with the people and understood what they were talking about, their issues. And when I started working in that field, it was difficult, but so rewarding. I stayed in that field throughout my whole career and have always worked with the people that are really having difficulties. And that's what I've done. I love doing it. I love doing it. I've got many wonderful friends that I've made in my career. I've also witnessed the sadness, of addiction and the sadness of trauma. I have seen that over and over.
You imbue almost a very helping spirit, and one of the videos that you made that I really connected with was your hamburger soup recipe, and all the different people from different reserves were talking about their own connections to family recipes. But you also had a Dakota teaching about family and needing to help one another during wakes and funerals.
Mhm.
And that's something that I can honestly say happens here in Mi'kma'ki too, with Mi'kmaq families wanting to get around the dinner table and connect through food and family. Would you be able to speak a little bit about that, Grandma Sherry?
Oh, the food connection is so great. And it's our with anything. Like I did the elbow macaroni a couple of weeks ago, and the connection was so great. Everybody had a story. Everybody remembered, and what they remember is the love from their grandmother, the love from their dad, the love from their aunties. They all had a story. It is so beautiful to see people that food can connect us to our past. It can connect us to those good memories, and it's not just our First Nations people. I have so many people from around, like even from Australia and New Zealand and Ukraine, and they all talk about we ate a similar dish. It is just wonderful. I didn't realize when I started doing the food what a great teaching tool it was. It seems as if when people are cooking and watching, it amazes me because it's not as if I'm putting out some unique recipe that has never been heard of. Everybody has some sort of connection. The hamburger soup, a lot of people said, we called it hangover soup. So everybody had a story. It is wonderful to see. Not only is it connecting them with their memories and with each other, it triggers, I'm going to make this. Last night when I got home, I was looking at the comments. How many young women sent me a recording of their poor man's pudding yesterday? I sat there in the evening and I watched the video. Oh, here's another one. Beautiful poor man puddings. It brings a smile to me. It is just absolutely rewarding for me to watch this. It's gorgeous.
I know in our talk beforehand, you spoke about how starting to create your TikTok page was about just sharing wisdom and kindness with your own grandkids.
Yes.
What has been their reaction to seeing these videos?
They're all very happy, and when I talk with them, because well they all live in I have two grandchildren who live in Alberta, and so when I talk with them, they kind of get, Grandma, you're on TikTok, and they'll say, I was at work and a friend of mine said, look at this, and that was Grandma Sherry, and they really get a kick out of it. I don't know if they sit and they watch all of them and get all the wisdom from it. I think that my messages have gone past my grandchildren. My grandchildren hear me all the time, and and either listen to me or don't. You know how that goes. They're adults. Four of my grandchildren are adults now, beautiful adults. So but now when I do a TikTok, when I first was doing them, I thought of my grandchildren sitting there, you know. Now when I do it, I think about the thousands of grandchildren I have out there and I speak to them. So I don't know if that makes sense, but that's how it's been with this whole adventure of mine.
It sounds like there's a reciprocity or a give back of love that
Hmm.
connects you to your audience too.
Hmm.
And I, I know this question might be a little strange, but many Indigenous content creators seem much younger. What's it been like for you to be the kind of grandma of TikTok?
Well, that is just the funniest thing because I never thought of myself as a grandma, a teacher. And then when I came on here, but all the love that's out there and people that call me grandma, And even now, when I go out into communities and stuff, people call me Grandma Sherry now. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's to me, it is such a blessing. It is just a beautiful blessing. I never thought that that I would ever be called Grandma Sherry in such a beautiful way, you know, when I think it's lovely. I love doing this. I absolutely do. And I love that people are connecting with the kindness. Not that I'm always kind, by the way, but I want to, I want to send that to be kind, to be loving. And and every one of us are human, and there's days that we kind of go off there, and then we have to bring ourselves back. There are times I get frustrated with life, and then I have to stop, hmm, and bring it back, bring the kindness and the love back. Never mind that. Move on. It will work out. Every morning you get up, apetu ake nina washte, which in my language means another beautiful day has come, and we're grateful for that. That's what my grandmother said every morning. She would get up in the morning, and that's what she'd say. She'd be at the window facing the east, and she'd say that. Apetu ake nina washte. Thank you, Creator, for another beautiful day. And then you move on like that. So that's how I have tried to live. And that is the message that I try to give.
Well, Alan, that's a beautiful teaching. I know we also joked earlier that sometimes there's a little challenges with tech issues given the kind of age gap. Like, how do you find yourself navigating those kind of tech challenges?
Very slowly. And I've had some funny things happen. Like I have recorded a beautiful, it's baking and I'm cooking, everything's good. There, it's done. I press something, it's erased. That has happened to me. And of course, when you've already cooked it, you can't uncook it and redo it. So I've lost a few things like that. I still don't know how to do all the fancy things like um I don't know, you know how when people speed things up and they'll say, look at this picture, and they'll hold a picture up with their hand, and I don't know how to do any of that. So I just do it in a very simple fashion. I get ready. I think in my head okay, this is what I'm going to do. I have 10 minutes. And then I pause and go on, pause, go on, pause. That's how I do it. That is how I deal with those challenges. And then I'm very careful of buttons that I push now because I've lost too many. One day I pressed the wrong button. It then went to your story. So I spent about half an hour trying to find it, couldn't find it. Says, oh, I lost it. So I had to do the second half. And then I said, I'm sorry, but I had this, it's gone. Then they all said, Grandma Sherry, it's on your story. I didn't even know there was something called your story. So I had to look at that. Then I found out there's something called your story. Just different thing. And I just found that out not long ago. So it's kind of it's funny actually. And I don't know how I manage, but I do manage.
What would you say is next for you? Are you planning on branching out to other social media accounts or?
Yes, I am. Well, I never would have, but except now that a lot of my followers are really worried about what's happening with the ban, a possible ban. So they've been all saying, Grandma Sherry, what are you going to do? So I said, well, I'll look at other things. So I'm looking at YouTube and Instagram. But there I got to learn a new way of doing it. I'm so used to the TikTok. I love it. Now I got to find another way of doing it. And I will. I will. I'm not sure if the ban will happen, but I'll be ready. And as for my plans, um, you know that I am almost 70 years old. And so I still work, uh, a couple of days a week. I go up to the Wings of Hope, and that's where it's a place that is there for addicts and homelessness. And I go up there and I work up there. I teach. I go up there. I do circles with the clients and just connect with the clients. Um, I really am thinking that as I get older, I'll probably fully retire. I was supposed to be fully retired already, but I keep on going back because I love it. I plan to keep on doing this and enjoying myself. So that's what I'm doing.